Hello, this is Yogeshwar 7000 again, and I'm back with another interesting topic, a very important topic rather, on Vedic astrology, which is going to discuss about a major transit which is happening. And why we call it major, because it is about Saturn, and it's a very long transit. Saturn stays in one zodiac sign for approximately 2.5 years, okay, not months. As compared to Sun stays in one zodiac sign for approximately 30 days or a month, and Moon stays in one zodiac sign for approximately 2.25 days. So you can imagine Saturn staying in one zodiac sign, Shanesharai, the slow moving planet, staying in one zodiac sign for 2.5 years and completing its entire cycle through the zodiac in 30 years. That's how Saturn is. So this is a very important transit, like I mentioned, because it's going to stay there for 2.5 years and will impact us. And currently Saturn is transiting in Scorpio, and it's going to move from Scorpio into Sagittarius on January the 26th, 2017. Okay, and it should stay there for 2.5 years, but this time the impact will be more than 2.5 years. It is going to be actually 3 years, 36 months. Why? Because Saturn will keep moving into Sagittarius and then coming back into Scorpio in different periods. So the overall, of course, when it moves back into Scorpio, the impact of Saturn is not going to be felt, but then, you know, overall the transit, if you look at it, is going to be impacting the next 36 months. Okay, so this is a very important transit, just like Jupiter is, we consider, and of course Rahu. All these planets are very, very important because they stay in one zodiac sign for such a long time. So it's going to be moving into the zodiac sign of Sagittarius once again on January the 26th, 2017. Okay, in the evening hours, if you consider India. Okay, so we have to study as to what impact Saturn is going to have on our lives when we talk about the moon sign. And there are different ways of looking at it, one through the moon sign and one through the ascendant, but the rules are different. So we're taking into consideration only the moon sign right now. And as per the rules given to us by the ancient scriptures and the ancient sages, when Saturn moves into the 9th house from the moon sign, meaning which from the Rashi means in generic terms where your moon was placed at the time of birth. So today we'll be talking about the moon sign of Aries, okay, as you can see on the screen. So number one is where it's not the ascendant, but where the moon is placed at the time of birth. So if you look at your birth chart and if you see the planet moon sitting in a zodiac sign which says 1, which means Aries, that means this video is for you. How is it going to impact you in the next 36 months, the transit of Saturn? Okay, that's important. So today, once again, we're considering Aries moon sign people. How is the Saturn transit is going to impact them? So as you see from on the screen, see an arrow moving from the 8th house into the 9th house from the moon. Once again, always consider this is the rules we are discussing today as per the moon. So when it transits into the 9th house from the Aries moon sign, there's one good news right here before we discuss into the detail of the next 36 months. The moon sign of Aries people were experiencing an Ashtam Shani, which is a Dhaya, kind of a Dhaya. An Ashtam Shani means when Saturn is 8th from the moon sign. That's a real bad period. You must have felt a lot of challenges related to health, related to inheritances, and related to career, profession for Aries moon sign people. So the good news is that it's moving away from that zodiac sign of Scorpio into Sagittarius. So it's moving from the 8th house, from the moon, from the natal moon, where moon was placed at the time of your birth, to the ninth house from the natal moon. So that's good news right there. But of course, like I had just mentioned, that Saturn may come back into the Scorpio zodiac sign. It may, return back into Scorpio zodiac sign. So again, you can feel some Ashtak Shani, or Saturn in the 8th house of the moon, difficult periods again during the entire transit, because this time the transit is a little longer, and the Saturn transit into Capricorn will start in January of 2020. So it's a 36 months period, and the reason I've already explained to you, because Saturn will come back into Scorpio for different periods of time. But overall, in a major portion it'll be in Sagittarius. So that's good news for the moon sign of Aries, or people with the moon sign of Aries, or people in whose birth chart, natal birth chart, moon is placed in Aries. So it's very good, because you're getting out of that Ashtak Shani problem, Saturn in the 8th house of the moon. But how will it impact you generally? As per the ancient scriptures, whenever Saturn transits into the 9th house, it is a tough time. I'm sorry to say that. It is going to have you work a little harder, and there'll be obstructions in your work and some frustrations as well. Now, since 9th house is about long distance travel, so there is a possibility that you may experience some kind of a change of residence, or even travel, or any kind of a job which makes you travel long distances again and again. So that may turn sometimes frustrating. So it's not a good transit, so it may be a little frustrating. As far as your bosses are concerned, you may have a tough time. People who are in jobs, dealing with their bosses, and people who are in their own business, then dealing with their employees will be a slightly tough period here. And generally you'll face trouble from your competitors and also from your enemies as well. Okay, and so overall it's not a great period. As far as relationship with your spouse is concerned, your children are concerned, that is also going to have a major problem. Your relationship with your parents may also take a back seat, or in some cases, especially your father, because it's sitting right there in this transit. It'll be sitting right there in the 9th house. So for parents it'll be a little tough, and especially related to father's health may suffer as well. And also from the point of view of the society, sometimes we try to look good in front of the society. That may be a little challenging as well. Problems between relatives, and people may try to paint you in a bad color in the society. So you have to be careful on that. As far as health is concerned, you have to check out as far as your ears are concerned. That is one area which you have to look out for, and also the areas which represent the thighs and your hips, sitting right there in the 9th house. So that is one problem. And of course I already mentioned that with the father also, and the wife also, and the kids also, there may be challenges. So it's not a very great transit, but the good thing is that you're moving out of your Ashtam Shani, or some people call it Ashtak Shani, which is not a good transit. As far as Saturn sitting in 8th house from the moon sign from the natal moon sign is not a good period. So at least you're getting out of that, and you're moving into a better territory. You're moving into a much better situation as compared to your last 2.5 years. So of course the recommendation is to get remedies from an expert Vedic scholar. I'm not going to give any remedy which you can just follow blindly. It has to be seen and experienced. or seen and recommended by an experienced astrologer. So I don't want to give any kind of a general remedy. Some people say, well, you know, generally, you know, just go this and, you know, do Shani Puja, pray to the Lord Saturn with oil, all that stuff. I'm not, and please, I'm warning you, please don't blindly do these remedies which you can get from the internet. So that's one. And also be very careful as far as your health is concerned. Be very, very careful as far as your father's health is concerned, or anybody from your father's side. The trips or the you know, the travel to religious places also could suffer a backseat. And if you do travel, then be extremely careful. May not be extremely fruitful, of course. Going to religious places is always good, but be careful, you know, just take care of your body, your health, while you're undertaking these pilgrimages or even long distance travels related to work and pleasure as well. So this is what I had to say about this transit, about the Aries moon sign people. Now, I've already explained to you that the rules as given by the ancient scriptures to see transits from the moon are different than the rules given by the ancient scriptures to see the transits from the ascendant. Okay, so just don't look at this video from an Aries ascendant point of view, okay, because those rules are different if you consider, and those rules have been mentioned in the ancient scriptures. But today we're generally, because that's what generally we take, you know, transits from the moon, gochara from the moon as we call it. And as per this rule, the 9th house gochara transit is not a great transit to be in. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. In the meanwhile, I will recommend subscribe to my channel and check out my website. There is a link below, and I will see you with an interesting topic on Vedic astrology very soon. Goodbye.